Susu's accident happened exactly 2 weeks after our fourth child, Nix, was born.
It was Jeff's first day back to work after my maternity leave. So we were swimming with several friends, and everyone got out of the pool to eat lunch. And Susu had a puddle jumper on. She was trying to get her food to her mouth, and she was struggling, so I took her puddle jumper off of her at that moment to eat. And when she was done, I said, "Do you want to get back in the pool?" And she was like, "No, Mommy." And I wasn't in the pool. So at that point, I didn't think, oh, I should probably put her puddle jumper back on. There was a mom in the pool with the other children who had to get out to change her toddler's diaper. And in that split second, Susu must have fallen or slipped in. The next thing we heard were the big kids in the pool yelling, "The baby's at the bottom of the pool, the baby's at the bottom of the pool." And then we realized it was Susu.
She was at the bottom of the pool for 3 minutes and above water with no breathing whatsoever for about 5 minutes.
She was completely blue and no pulse, not breathing, no signs of life. And so immediately instinct kicked in, and I started CPR on her while screaming to call 911. Susu wasn't giving me anything, no gurgles, nothing. I was thinking in my head, I'm gonna have to tell Jeff that she died while I was watching her. And probably 30 seconds before EMS pulled up, she started gurgling, and I just picked her up and ran her to the ambulance. And that's when all of the emotion hit, that I was the one that took her out of her puddle jumper. And I just kept saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry." Like I just felt overwhelming guilt. And Jeff looked at me and he said, "Carice, it could have been me." You know, it's those seasons and times of life where things are very hard and difficult, and you see the gift that God has given in a spouse to love you unconditionally. Once we got to the hospital, we met her in the emergency room, and she was intubated. It was kind of just a waiting game to see how she would perform. Would she breathe over the ventilator by herself? What will her lungs do? What will her brain do?
It's a marathon of emotions that you don't wish upon anyone, especially involving, a young child. So it's a challenging thing for sure. But from the time they did their first assessment, every report got better. They are weak, but he is strong. The doctor actually said, "Look, I don't get to have this conversation with many people who have gone through the type of injury that your daughter sustained, but she's gonna be okay. You're gonna go home." Today, she's a healthy girl who lives life to the fullest.
It was amazing and humbling. God's presence was with us through it all, and we believe His hands and His feet were the people praying for us. I don't even know how to say thank you to everyone who helped us.
The incredible thing is, as we worked through the process, we saw CHM help us negotiate nearly $50,000 in discounts off those medical costs. And then
they shared over $88,000 worth of her medical bills. And it still blows my mind that it just feels differently knowing that the funds that paid for her health care came from other people loving and sharing and giving. And so it's not something that we take lightly. Like, we feel extremely grateful for it.
Especially, and it's in lockstep with our faith and belief anyway. Galatians is very clear that we share one another's burdens as the body of Christ. It was only through the Lord's provision, through the hands and feet of Christian Healthcare Ministries.